Hi everybody, it's Annette from The Art of Intuition, and today I'm actually trying out a new tripod, so take me a while to get used to it. We are going to talk about exhaustion, and we're going to frame it as going against the flow. And in conjunction with that, not only going against the flow, because we talk a lot about going with the flow or being in flow. And I did a video on that. I know I did a video on that at one point. So I want to expand that a little bit and talk about not only what does it mean to go with the flow, not be in flow, and going with someone else's flow, which is a term I just came across in a book, which I thought was a really just a great way to frame something. You know, because we see a lot of people do videos all the time about going with the flow or flowing like a river. Water is always a big sign for a lot of spirituality teachings, being able to flow like the water. And what does that really mean? To just be very, pliable in a sense, bendable. Water always finds a way. You always sort of have a way to go. You don't let the obstacles kind of get in your way, which is kind of contradictory in a sense of being in flow, because we each have our own organic flow, which basically means you're in line with your highest timelines. That's what in flow means. You're not in flow with your human timelines. You are in flow with your highest timelines. You might be going with the flow. I know I'm going to trip myself up on some of these wordings, so bear with me. You might be going with the flow on something, and you might feel like that's the same thing. But you still find all these obstacles that keep popping up. And one of the questions that I'll get is, how do I know which one I am? Sometimes obstacles come up because they're trying to test us. Obstacles come up, I can't even say that word today. Obstacles come up as a test to see which way you're going to go. So every time it doesn't flow particularly easy from our human mindset, and that's kind of when you want to start to really look at your obstacles. Are they obstacles, or are they a test? And I'm probably going to start using the word test because I can't seem to say that word today. Is it a test? Who is seeing it as an obstacle? Is it my human aspect that's seeing this as a problem? Is it just feels like I'm exhausted trying to keep going to the same thing? A big test of this is going to really be your exhaustion level. How do you feel? Do you feel like you're just kind of barreling through things to get a certain thing done? Are you just trying to like check a box, check a box, check a box? And a lot of times this becomes trickier because we're doing it to accomplish what we feel is our soul aligned duties to do, but we're doing it from a different energetic place. We don't even have to be, going with someone else's flow. Sometimes we are, and you'll find that more when you're in your beginning of ascension, and definitely when we're in our human aspect. We usually will go along with somebody else's flow, and we think as long as we're in flow with something, we're okay. And that's exhausting because we're going against our natural flow, which means we won't have our natural allies come to assist us. We're kind of hampering our own process because we're going along with somebody else's song in a sense. We're going along with somebody else's plan. And normally, if someone else is dragging you into their flow, they're not in flow. They're also just going with a flow, but it's not their highest aligned. They're going with their human existence, because anyone going in their soul existence flow, they're not going to rope you into that. They're not going to require you to be there. You can be there if you want to be there, but they're not going to require you to be there. So if we're feeling that pressure to conform, which is in itself a test, to go with somebody else's flow, to go with someone else's dream, and we're not going with ours. And you can even take that to, what flow are we? Are we going with our human flow, which is still not our natural flow? We're still going against our natural flow. We're in someone else. We're in our lowest aspects flow at that point. We're not going with our natural existence. We're kind of getting muddled up in somebody else's stuff, even if it's our our own stuff, but in our own human existence flow. And we're not letting the things that want to help us, the things that we built in to help us, we're not letting them come through because we're trying so hard to do it a certain way. And normally, when this starts to happen for me, I don't get caught in other people's flow anymore. It's been a lot of years since I've done that. Even in my beginning of Ascension, I kind of found myself kind of caught in someone else's flow. You kind of have that hierarchy for a while when you have different teachers come in for you, and that's where you'll kind of see it, I think, more in the beginning of your ascension process, where you kind of get roped into what someone else's dream is. You kind of get roped into what someone else is trying to accomplish, and you kind of lose focus on what you're trying to accomplish because you feel like because someone is in a vibration that you feel is assisting you in a sense, it's vibration you're not at yet, that it makes them more of a expert on what your life should be. It makes them more of an aspect on what you should do. It makes them an authority on you, which isn't true. They're just there to awaken that within us. But when we're in that, it takes us a while to kind of break through with that, and where we don't feel that anymore. We're not feeling the pressure to go along with that, knowing that the minute we stop, then usually the timeline collapses because that now relationship is now run its course. It's gotten your vibration to a certain place where you can now go on your own, and you can see that your dreams are not that person's dream. So they fulfilled their role. The reality has no reason anymore. So we can find ourselves dipping in and out of that all the time. Now I find myself, I'll get kind of caught up again in what my human want feels like I should be doing all the time. All the things my human wants to get done, and I will start getting really tired. I know the other day I was supposed to go on a road trip somewhere, and I spent the whole morning doing all this stuff. My human aspect felt like I had to get done before I left. All the stuff I wanted to get done around the house before I left. And by the time it actually came to going into a timeline where I knew I was going to have to be at my highest, because I was going to be around children, and I really wanted to be able to bring forth, and play and have a great time and really support them and support that reality. I was too tired to go. I had to postpone the trip a few days. I was just too tired. I had depleted myself just doing all these things that didn't have to be done, but my human wanted them done. And it kind of led me through this kind of journey to really see where I was doing that in a lot of other aspects. I was kind of playing in that flow where I was going along with my human flow, and I was not going along with my natural flow. And the minute we start cutting off our natural flow, which is our organic flow, which is our soul aligned flow, and you're going to feel a difference. Right now, you might listen to this video now and say, gee, Annette, you kind of sound like you're going back and forth. You'll start to feel the difference. I promise you. You will start to feel the difference. One of the easier ways to do this is to start separating out what's tired. I had all this energy all morning to do all this stuff, get the house clean. I went and took a walk. I went to the gym. I did all this stuff that was just going all morning long. And I had to really look and say, okay, now I'm too tired to even drive. What's tired here? Am I tired? Is my body tired? Separate out your bodies. Is it your physical body, your emotional body, your energy body? What's tired? I could have probably gone out and walked another 8 laps. So my physical body, even though I'd done all that physical work, didn't seem tired, but my energy body was tired. And the minute we deplete our energy body, our soul light, it's like I kind of used it all up to get all this stuff done in a sense. We start cutting off our support, whether that's monetary support, whether that's because energy is money. So we deplete our energy, we deplete our money, we deplete our resources, whatever that resource is for us. We start depleting everything. We get very short-tempered. We get set off very easily because we've just made ourselves so tired that we don't have anything to give anyone else, And then I could kind of see where I was doing that in a lot of different areas. So really look at what flow are we going with? We have a lot of different categories here we can fall into, whether we're going along with somebody else's flow, whether we're going along with our human aspect flow. Are we really in our natural flow? Are we just going with the flow, or are we in flow? Because when you're organically in flow, you might do weird stuff during the day. Like yesterday, I just said, okay, I want to do stuff to get better. What do I really want to do today? I don't really want to do a video. I don't really want to do a stream. What do I really want to do? I want to go do some painting. I want to go finish a creative project that I've been working on. I need super glue. I need to do something that was going to light that creative thing for me again. Because I felt like I was starting to just get too bogged down on all the other realities. And sometimes it does get a little trickier for us when we get to different parts of our process, because we can see all the things we have to get done in a timeline. And one thing I continually will find myself when I get back into that program and I bust through that program again, I'll start to slip into it all has to be done right now. And sometimes we do have to do stuff really quickly, and we kind of know when we're in that. And then when we start getting really, really tired, that's usually when I start feeling that. And it's not just feeling it for one day when you've kind of used up all your light in a sense. You've kind of given it all for that one thing you were supposed to do that day, or the 5 things you were supposed to get done that day, and you kind of got it all finished. One thing I have to do now is just really space everything out. I don't do 2 or 3 things in a day, not normally. And when I'm trying to do that, that's normally when I'm trying to adhere to something else. This is not my natural flow. A couple days we're going to have to push ourselves and do it. And you're going to know, okay, I had to get this done, and now I'm going to have a couple days to recharge. Usually today I do a stream, but today I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go out and sit in the sun. I'm going to go out and really charge up and take a little bit of a break. And there are other days when you feel like it's constant. Like you're tired every day. And that's what I was starting to get into. Every day I'm tired. And then everything I was looking at was kind of pointing me to, why are we doing it? What are we really listening to here? Is it all that pressure to, get more content out? Is it more pressure that you want to share more and you want to share this? And sometimes we really want to share something, but we might not have the complete picture of what we want to share yet, because we haven't got to the vibration where all that information is. And then all of a sudden it's all there. And we see it all and we're like, okay, now I get it. Now I understand what I'm doing. And now I understand why I couldn't do that right now. Really look at your organic flow. What is coming to support you? Because when we're not in flow, we're not going to feel that support, because we're not supporting ourselves. If we don't support ourselves, and that means our light body, that means our soul body. If we're not supporting our energy body, our soul body, our physical body, we're not going to have that support. It's not going to come. So when we get in this place where we feel like, holy crap, why do I feel like I'm on an island? It's always because we paddled ourselves out to that island, and we dropped our anchor there to just do it alone. But the support will be there. We just have to start supporting ourselves again. So if you're in that, I'm not sure whether I'm in flow. I'm not sure if I'm going with the flow. I'm not sure if I'm even in my own flow. Am I trying to go with somebody else's flow? What am I doing here? Sit down, feel it out. Take a breath and really focus in on, how does your body feel? What do I really want to do? And what is my mind telling me I have to get done today? There's subtle differences in the beginning. It's hard to pick up on them. If we're really pressed to do something, sometimes it's that one thing we have to do to open up the floodgates to another portal, another reality. Like I really felt it was important to finish my creative project that I had started working on last year. But yesterday I really had to finish that. It felt like I really want to do this today. This is what I want to do. I want to put my Andaras in the sun. I want to go outside and walk around. I want to go outside and look at rocks. I want to do all that stuff to kind of get back in touch. So if you feel like you're out of touch, you feel tired, look at where you are and don't judge where you are. First thing our human wants to do is judge it and be like, oh, what am I doing? Don't do that. Just relax. Okay. Keep practicing the art of intuition.